There is a right and left on it. But
I've never bothered with that before, but today I want to know.
I know with mine the cable comes out the left one, but I don't know if that's the same always.
Does it say on the thing?
It should do. I don't know if it's on the actual cup
Alright,
itself.
right.
Or that. There you go.
R is right. I'm assuming the R is right and L is left.
I would assume so as well, yes.
Don't think it matters a fuck, to be honest, but... so, aye.
And whenever you... Oh, no, we'll do
Oh,
our
you clap it.
traditional claps. Good stuff.
Did I do that? Did I do that right?
You're a pro now.
I know, pro. My clap was shit, I'll do it again. Because I felt it was a bit kind of thuddy.
There was a bit of bass with the pan.
It was a bit thuddy, less clappy. Like, that's a good clapper. Aye.
Is that how we'll start syncing the mics from now on?
Aye. This has actually started then, I went right.
Oh, aye, we're rolling.
Alright, fuck it. So that's good, right? So this is, is it work to traditionally I do the intro? Is that how it's working?
That's your show. Your name's on the tin.
It's kind of a your show as well, but so this is episode. Why did I go all camp and I'm nice? I go, it's your show as well, Chris.
You did that as well yesterday when we ordered juice and you were like, it shows that we're real people.
Don't know, that must be a defence mechanism, that. And maybe it's real me. It's not really. So this is episode 4, Chris, isn't it?
Episode 4.
Episode 4. God knows what day it is in January. So this is November the 22nd. So there's no lies here. We're not pretending. It's in January. So aye. So this is episode 4, and and we were talking about. So we're trying to do more with the fuck it list thing.
Yeah. Just to be clear, we're recording this episode the day after we recorded last week's, as opposed to we recording a month after.
No.
But, so,
All right.
but no, I mean it's still fresh. The ones we talked about last week are still fresh in our minds.
Oh,
so.
you've killed the illusion, man. It's all lies. It's like watching, see if you watch game shows like The Chase and all that, because you think it's every week, but they record them at 500 on the same day. That's how you see the beast with the same gear on.
No, we're going to be real with you.
Aye,
we're not trying to create illusions.
No lies. So we're talking about yesterday actually creating as part of the podcast, because it's kind of a develop and as we go, innit? It's like we've started off, no idea what's happening. We just know it's called the fuck it list, loosely based on the idea of fuck it, but then events.
He said
Oh
it,
no! Stop it, you cunt! So loosely based on that idea, cunt, and it will gradually develop a structure and guests on. And get followers to actually have a fuck it list as well, and maybe interact with them. So if people have actually got stuff they want to do, fuck it, we want to encourage people to do stuff, and that would be part of the show as well. Maybe get people sending messages in, we discuss that as well.
Yep, last episode we talked about it. We've got an email address. It's obiepodcast@gmail.com. If you want to get in touch, send some suggested fuck it's in.
Aye. And I'm up for it, so because I'm kind of currently writing a list of stuff I want to do, but there's also spontaneous fuck it's like last minute things.
You had one last night, didn't you? After your gig?
Aye, that's true. I had one last night. I kind of because my cars. I've not got a car just now. My car basically. It was going to cost too much to get an MOT, more than the car's worth, so I scrapped it. So I'm looking for a new car.
I reckon 3 weeks after this podcast is out, you'll be getting a Ferrari or something.
Hopefully, aye. So last night I went to a gig in Hamilton, and if I'd left when the gig finished, I got a train and a bus back home. But
That's no fun, is it?
Nah. So I thought, fuck it. Had a couple of beers with the audience and then got an Uber home. So basically, all the wages I got it was a wee small gig, so it wasn't much. All the wages I got at the gig were spent in like 2 pints and an Uber, basically.
But now you've got a story.
Aye.
That was the story.
That was the story. It's not the best story in the world, but sometimes like a fuck it becomes the best story in the world.
You never know if you don't do them. So.
Nah. What was that?
Got a big rift coming.
Big rift. So there's, I'll give you an example of that, Chris, just because I get wee triggers, right? I've fuck it where I kind of random one. I was at uni years ago and just drinking during the day as you do, right? Now when you're at uni, sometimes you're out drinking on a Tuesday, and I seen a sign in the Union, Strathclyde Union, and the top it said free bus to London. I was just seen that. I mean, a pal, and free bus to London. And it was for some demonstration.
Like a protest?
It was a protest.
Right.
And to this day, I still have no idea what the protest was for.
Did you go?
Aye.
You just had a day at London?
So me and my mate were drinking all day in the Union, and we seen this free bus to London. There was some demonstration. I honestly can't remember what it was. I'm sure it was a good cause. And we thought, fuck it, let's go to London. And I was a skint student, so we got a carry out, jumped to the bus to London.
Couple of cans.
A few cans. We're pissed during the day. We're drinking all day, and we went down to London. We got off the bus. Everybody went and done their demonstration. We just went for a day out in London.
We demonstrated how to drink in London.
Aye, and we almost missed the bus on the way home. So just when we were running up Hyde Park, the bus was just pulling out. We just had like a tenner left. So if I missed that bus, I'd have been fucked.
Yeah, I mean, at least it was a free bus. Imagine how much you would have paid just for a bus to London for a
Aye.
drink.
Aye, so that was an example of a fuck it. Have you got any things like that you've done? Like mad things? Like, cause the thing is, like that one, sometimes with things like that, you're gonna think, if you think about it too practically, you go, I can't, I'll get the money. What if this happens? You go, no, fuck it, just do it. Because you can work out how to.
Aye, I've got plenty of stories that like started off as a, just the typical somebody texting you, do you want to go out the night? Nah. For whatever reason, you fuck it, you do.
Aye, because your mates shame you.
Aye.
Because you go, how no, you're weirdo.
But it starts off like, I just come to the pub, couple of pints, which you do, and then you're like, right, I'm going up the road, and then they're like, no, we're going to go into town. And you go, right, fuck it, I'll come with you. You go into a couple more pubs in town, then it's like 3 a.m, everything's shut. Aye, let's get a taxi. No, the casino's open. Aye, all right, fuck it.
You're doing my material here, you cunt, aren't you?
Is it? Oh, aye.
Aye, that's a bit that I do, obviously. Aye, but it's kind of a two, though, isn't it?
I mean, I've done that many a time.
I end up the casino. And then, sometimes, have you ever been in the casino? You go, fuck, it's late. I could get a taxi home, but I'm as well just staying here until the first bus in the morning starts.
Oh, aye.
To save me like 20 quid in a taxi.
Aye. What other ones? There was one I thought of. It's away.
So I'm trying to think of that. So probably one of my first ones, I was 20. And it was like, and this is how it happened, right? It's just a daft one, right? It was like, I went, right, so I'm not a football fan, right? But there was a Celtic Manchester testimonial game for somebody that was leaving.
Right.
I couldn't tell you who it was.
Which of the Manchesters?
Man United.
Right.
So Man United. So there was a game. So me and my mate asked me to go. So me and my mate went down in a minibus with some older guys. We were 20 to Manchester to watch Man United versus Celtic. Mm-hmm. And we were all drinking all the way down, pissing in cans and all that. That kind of shit. We're in a minibus, pissing in cans. We were down there. And I'm not a football fan, so my mate gave me a Lenny's Celtic top. Right. It was all right. I'll pretend like I'm into football for a couple of hours.
Just so I can fit in.
Went down, watched the game, and I didn't know the score until the next day. I was bluttered, right, and I almost missed the bus the way back. But that was a kind of fuck it. But the real fuck it was like a few weeks after that, I had my mate's Celtic top. Mm-hmm. So I hadn't got around to giving it back yet. Right? So I went up to his house, who stayed with his mum and dad, and I went, all right, so I'm just bringing a Celtic top up. And he went, by the way, Obie, we've, me and some of the guys I work with have booked a holiday to Magaluf in a couple of weeks. Right, just a boys' holiday, and I was 20, and I went, do you want to come? And I was kind of going, a wee bit skint. But then I went, but I didn't think about it. I just decided, fuck it, it's like this. I decided I was going despite not having the money to go.
Yeah.
So I went, fuck it, all right, I'll go.
Aye, things just have a way of.
Aye, and I worked out.
That, do you know what I mean?
I managed to scrape enough money together. I was working in B&Q at the time to pay for the flights, or the kind of. In fact, we get flight only, so we didn't actually have any accommodation. So I managed to get enough to pay for the flights, and then I got a credit card. I think I got a credit card to do that, and then so I got a credit card.
It's not a financial advice podcast.
No. So I got a credit card that paid for the flights, plus I got some clothes and spending money, and I thought, right, I'll pay that back eventually, which I don't think I ever did. I think that was.
I was going to say you're still paying it now.
I think I'm still paying that. So I think but that guy's had a brilliant holiday. It's one of my best memories.
There you go.
That was my first boys' holiday. I think it was 6 years in Magaluf. We didn't have any. We just had flights. We got there at 4 a.m. with nowhere to stay. We were basically sleeping on the beach with suitcases, and eventually we found these shitty apartments. 108. It was. I just remember the
actual number of the apartment.
So it was like, I think there was like 6 years, but there was like 4 beds in the apartment. So we had to sleep in lilos and shit. You know, and occasionally somebody would pull and get somewhere else to sleep and all that. So it was kind of, so it was just a good time, and that became from a fuck it. And if I'd have thought about that practically, I wouldn't have that memory now.
Aye.
You know, if I'd have went, oh no, I'm not, I've not got the money, I'm not doing it.
Oh well, that's a lesson in it.
Aye. And the other one, right, sorry, I'm on a rant now, right, so 2012, remember that? The world was meant to end that year.
Aye. London Olympics that year.
So it was, shit man, that was a long time ago. So basically 2012, well 2011 I'd done the festival, right, at Edinburgh. And my mate who's from Australia, Dan Willis, Jordy lives in Australia, his other mate who's a promoter from Australia was over at the festival.
Right.
And at the time he went, so he came to see me, he went, Obie, you should come and do Melbourne next year. Right? And I went, all right, I says, would you help me out? When I'll sort you out with like a venue, accommodation, you obviously need to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And 2011 was a year like I was working. That was one of my own the last time I only ever full-time jobs.
All right.
So I worked for
you had to try and get holidays and that.
Aye, no. So it was the co. I was working at the co-op.
Right.
So I actually took redundancy that year.
All right. Okay.
So I was working there 6 years. They were moving premises, and they basically tried to sell us on this. So they wanted to keep the guys that were there with experience rather than get you guys in.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how they tried to sell it to us. Right, so they were moving from Cumbernauld to Eurocentral, like Newhouse, out that way. And they sold us, this was a sales pitch, and I shit myself. They went, right, we want, rather than getting you guys, we'd love you guys to come to work. So it was basically, if you left, it was voluntary redundancy you got. So you had the choice to leave because they were moving. If you come with us, we guarantee you a job for life. And that fucking job for life thing, I had a cold sweat. I was like fucking trapped in a box. I need to get out of here.
I bet there was some guys like creaming themselves.
Oh fuck, job for life, fucking yes. But at that point, I shit myself and I left. So in August that year, I had redundancy money. So the guy Jamie asked me, "Do you want to go to Australia?" I went, "Aye, fuck it, that sounds amazing." So I decided, but my redundancy money was running out by then.
Okay.
So I had money left, but aye. So I went, all right, fuck it, I'm coming to Australia. I decided I was going. But I was a few months later when I had to start paying for shit. So it got to maybe November. I was like, and they went, you still coming? I went, aye. But at this point, my redundancy money had ran out. I had no money. I was fucking skint, right? I was skint, right?
Yep.
I was falling behind with my mortgage and stuff. And I went, you go? And I went, fuck it, aye. I decided, I just did that kind of laser vision.
Aye.
I'm going to Australia.
Going to make it work.
Aye. I was like, and people were going, how you going to get there? I was like, no, it doesn't matter, mate. I'm going.
A walk affinity.
Aye, so it was just one of these things. I just remember going, I'm fucking definitely going, right? And so I was thinking, and I couldn't get a job. I was trying to get a job at that point. It was hard. I don't know why I couldn't get a job. I just couldn't get a job. I went for an interview with the Devro, the sausage skin factory in Moodiesburn.
Oh, aye. That's where my grandpa worked.
Aye, and I knocked back.
Sorry, that might have been my grandpa.
Aye, it might have been, aye. So I didn't get, I couldn't even get a job at a sausage skin factory, right? And I was like, but then this guy messaged me, you still going, Obie? We've got you a venue, we've got you this. All right, I know, it's fine, I'll be there. And then it was getting later and later. I was like, oh, fuck. And I thought, right, I'll do a crowdfunder thing.
All right, aye.
Because I just heard about that, and I was asking people about it. She says, why don't you do a crowdfunder? I was like, how does that work? All right. So what happened was I was in, do you ever remember, you might be too young, the Hot Bar in Glasgow?
I've definitely heard my dad talk about it. I don't know if he maybe gigged in there.
So it was in Woodlands Road. So Eastgate Bar, the whiskey bar, so it's just no far from there. Just down from where the stand is.
Aye, I know you.
Right, so they used to run a gig on a Tuesday night. It was an open mic gig. Right, I used to headline it quite a lot, and I used to just go there for a night out, for a beer on a Tuesday as well. So one day I decided to go down there early and record like a wee promotional video for the crowdfunding thing.
All right.
Right, so this is a mad story, right? So the wee crowdfunding thing. And I went, all right, cool. So I done that, and then I went into the bar after it, and I met a guy, Kristen Woody, who runs Entertainment, right, in Glasgow, and he was with another guy. I'll not mention his name now because it's a bit dodgy, right? So this other guy was running a business at the time.
It's no Russell Brand, is it?
No. I don't know what happened with this guy, right? So this guy was running. I just don't want to mention people's names, right? So this guy was running a business at the time, and I was telling him what I'm trying to do. I want to go to Australia. I went, all right, cool. And he went, I tell you what, Obie, like my company, we can sponsor you. I went, all right, fuck it. This was just on the day I done it. I went, oh, cool. He says, can you come to a business networking thing next week in Edinburgh and do like a bit of stand up, and we'll give you 200 quid.
Not going to say no to that.
And I was like, all right, fucking, that sounds good. So I went along, done the gig. It was just like a wee business network, like people with businesses kind of chatting and stuff.
I've been to one of them. It was
Aye. And I done like a wee 20 minutes of stand up or something like that. And then he gave me a cheque for 200 quid, I think. But then I went to the bank the following day and they looked at it and went, it's not been signed. I was like, for fuck's sake. So I messaged this guy and said, listen, that cheque's not been signed. And I went, all right, I'll tell you what, we come back to our next business networking meeting. And what he wanted me to do, I was doing memory training stuff. I told you about that, aye.
I've seen you do it at a show at the Fringe years ago.
Right.
We had the big board with all the words.
Aye.
Kind of thing.
So I used to do workshops on teaching people how to improve their memory, right? Yeah. So he's come and do that. So I've done that wee demonstration and taught people a wee bit.
Yeah.
And he said this in front of everybody else at that time. He went, listen, Obie, we're not going to give you any money. And I went, oh, for fuck's sake. He says, but what we are going to do, we're going to pay for your flights
Right.
to Australia. I was like, fuck off. And he went, no, really, we're going to sponsor me paying for your flights. I was like, fucking hell. And I was like, so that was me cracked my flights, right? But it took ages, right? Fucking ages, right? And I was a wee bit worried because I didn't know this guy that well. And I was like, and I was phoning up and going, listen, I've seen these flights for that price. And he was like, no, we'll get you better flights than that. And he kept putting it off. And I was a wee bit worried. I was like, oh, fuck, man. But eventually, I got flights booked.
Right.
So they booked flights for me, right? So I went into his work. And this is a true story. And I got to know his staff a wee bit. Oh, how you doing? Oh, thanks, man. I got my flights going. Where am I going? But all his staff are kind of a wee bit standoffish with me. Right. So they were a wee bit kind of... I ended up becoming pals with these people.
Aye.
But the staff were all kind of, all right, I got your flights. So it turns out, like that month...
Was it like their bonus that Aid gave you?
No, just like that though. But apparently that month, I found out later, they didn't get paid.
Oh, what?
So basically, the guy was like an entrepreneur, but he was flying by the seat of his pants. And some months he wasn't paying his staff. So the month that I get flights, they didn't get paid in time.
Well, at least it worked out for you.
So it ended up, right, I got there, but then I found that later, you know, and I mean, the guy, I don't want to slag the guy off, but it ended up, his business was down the tubes, and a few people get fucking lost a few quid off him and stuff like that.
Aye.
So I think this guy, like, it was full of good intentions, but he didn't have the skills to back it up.
I know what you mean.
So I ended up going to Australia just because sheer fuck it will. I got there. And he happened to be. I think just because I had that kind of determination, he seen that and he thought, "Fuck, I'm going to help this guy."
Well, people talk about that all the time with manifesting things, and
Aye.
just having that state of mind and
Aye.
100% belief that something's going to happen, and you
Aye.
focus everything that you're doing into making it happen.
And I got there and like people thought I was mad. Like, Obie, you've not got a job. You're skint. You just tapped me a $5 for a loaf. He says, "No, it doesn't matter. I'm going to Australia." And sometimes that slight delusion gets you there.
A lot of successful and famous people
Aye.
are famously delusional. So
Aye.
There's got to be a reason.
Like, there's Frank Skinner. Partly, have you seen Frank Skinner?
Yeah.
Right, so he was good. So you should read his book if you're into stand up.
That's actually on my list. We'll
Oh,
get
is
to.
it?
I want not his. What I mean is just reading books is on my fucking list.
So Kris has got to actually learn to read. So on his list is learn to read, 2, try a book. So Frank Skinner, right, he kind of was he was all in when he started comedy when he was 30,
Right.
which is quite late in the kind of comedy world.
I saw. Do you know American comedian Nate Bargatze?
No, see, I don't know him.
He's
I'll write it down.
Nate Bargatze. Don't know how to spell it because I can't read. So. I seen a wee clip of him yesterday on a podcast talking about comedians, and he was like, "You either make it when you're 20 or you make it when you're 40. Very rarely in between."
Aye.
You find that a lot of people either when they're really young, or it's
Can
like
be.
they've had either like really young, it's the first thing they've ever done, or like they've had a life doing like normal people jobs for a bit,
Aye.
and then eventually they go, "Fuck it, I want to do this." like later in life.
It can be. The thing with comedy is you can do it any age. There's a woman. She died now. And Lynn Ruth Miller. Right, so she's an American woman. She lived in the UK. I'll go back to Frank Skinner in a minute. And she started doing comedy in her 70s.
Oh, really?
So she was like an American. I don't know her full story, but I think she had an abusive husband for years.
Right.
So she was kind of brought up in that. It's just a horrible environment, kind of controlled, kind of with this arsehole. And eventually, in her 70s, she was like, fuck it. I've always wanted to do stand-up. I'm going to do it now. And she ended up like, touring all over the world.
Good on her.
The last time I seen her, I gigged with her a few times. It was in Berlin.
Right.
And she was there just headlining, I think. And brilliant. And she was on America's Got Talent.
All right.
So I think she done quite well on that. And I mean, she died in her 80s, but she had like 10, 50 years of just doing what she loved.
Stuff.
So I think it's brilliant. So Frank Skinner, he was in comedy in the 30s. He was a mad alky, but he used to drive to gigs all over the country and sleep in his car.
Aye.
So he'd fuck all, and he was like, "Nah, I just want to do this." So he just decided this is what he's doing. So that was like we were talking about yesterday. You've got that day job thing in the background, the safety net kind of holds you back. He's like, "Nah, fuck it, I'll sleep in my car."
You hear a lot of things about musicians doing that as well. See, like a lot of things I listen to, like country singers and stuff in Nashville. Like,
they're always kind of sad stories and all that. My bitch has left me, you know that.
Is that the song you want to learn?
Aye. Sorry about that.
Offending my country. There's like I can't remember the last time I went to Nashville. There was like a tour guide or something told us that there's like some obscene number of people move to Nashville every week, month, or year, like to try and make.
So is that the big music hub, Nashville? Isn't it? Is that the place to get discovered?
Yeah, I mean mainly for country, but all sorts of music, like and even just it's huge for not even just artists, like performers, but for songwriters as well. There's a huge business just in writing songs and selling.
So is it like the
songs.
Hollywood of music, basically?
Pretty much, yeah. So there's like a mad number of people that move to Nashville every month or whatever to try and make it in music, and a lot of them like that, like they don't have money. They take their car and just go around all the pubs. Can I play here? And they do open mics, whatever, and they just sleep in their car for however long. A lot of them maybe do that for a few months, don't get anywhere, and give up. Some of them, probably like 1% of them actually make it.
Some of them, the most determined ones, I think.
Probably,
It's like taking the knockbacks, I think, and going, fuck it, let's do it again. It's like getting a no, and going, all right, okay.
Some people will be like, oh well, I tried. They go to like one pub. Can I play here tonight? No. Fuck this. Back to my mum and dad's house. So you need that. I think you need that determination to sleep in the street or do what you need to do. Yeah.
So that's what Frank Skinner done. He said in his book, it was like it was a shitty car. It was like a heap of shit that broke down all the time. Yeah. And he just drive to gigs all over the country, and eventually he kind of made it.
And now we always know his name, so stuff.
Who was he again?
Jank Pinner.
Jank Pinner, aye. I think he's brilliant. I seen him in Edinburgh this year.
Right.
Just walking about.
Oh, aye.
So I was out flyering for my show, and Frank Skinner walked by with his wee boy. I think it must have been his wife as well. And I usually if I see somebody, I'll say, all right, Frank, but I kind of I
was like that.
You like starstruck.
That day that I came to see you at the Fringe.
Aye. You like with me, like Kris. You're like,
oh my God, there's that guy I worked with. no, I was actually sitting watching the football, and Adam Rowe sat down beside me.
All right.
And I was already a wee bit drunk, and I was just like, I was like, Adam, I'm coming to see you tonight.
Aye. I see I'm different with that because I've met Adam a few times before, so it's different.
You know what I mean?
I get that.
You're in the comedy circle.
Aye.
But at that point, that was the first time. Oh no, it's not the first time I'd seen him live. But again, it was like I'd seen him in bigger venues.
Aye.
But like it's weird. Like I've spent countless hours of my life watching him on a screen.
Aye.
It's weird. See when you see somebody in real 3D through your eyes compared to having seen them like on the telly for years.
You touched them in that?
I didn't touch him.
Did you? So Kris is just admitting he sexually assaulted Adam Rowe. So Adam, if you're watching, probably is he? But he tried to touch you up. So where did you see him? Was it in the Monkey Barrel?
His French show was in Monkey Barrel.
So was it just a wee kind of small one in the small rooms? 100 seater? Was it across the road for the actual?
It was the one across the road for Monkey Barrel itself, so it's kind of down.
100 seater or something.
I think maybe a wee bit bigger. I can't remember.
Aye.
I've seen there was a few. I think that's where Vittorio Angeloni's show was
Right.
as well.
Good show.
It was really good. Aye.
Aye.
It was kind of. I think that was him working up the show that he's now touring.
Right.
I didn't go to that show. I think I was away or doing something the weekend that he was
Aye.
doing it in Glasgow. I wasn't too fussed because it was like the same show.
Aye, seen it.
I'd seen.
And sometimes it would be better seeing it in a smaller, intimate venue.
Aye, because when they did it in Glasgow, it was in the Pavilion.
Aye, that's
So-
right, a good venue though. Is that like a nice venue?
It's a nice theatre I've been
Aye.
for stuff, but like I prefer comedy in the likes of a wee
Aye.
clubby room compared to a theatre.
Aye.
Still good in theatres. When it
Aye.
gets to the level of arenas, then you start losing it.
Aye, because I was talking to Gary Falls, like there's me name dropping again, right?
I think you mentioned him about 5 times
I can know,
yesterday.
aye. Just because he can inspires me just the way he's
Aye.
about things and you know.
Is he a wee bit different the way he's come up? And
Aye,
Films
aye.
like
There's
that.
kind of a but he said to me that he's done the Armadillo,
right, aye. We went to see Daniel Sloss there
Aye.
last week.
but then he says he's also done the Pavilion. He says the Pavilion is much better
Aye.
because it's slightly smaller. The Armadillo was just a bit too big.
It's quite long. Like, see from the stage to the back of the room, and the Armadillo's quite
Aye.
far, whereas the Pavilion's all quite tiered, but it's closer to you.
Aye, it's kind of in your face.
I say that like I've been on the stage. I've not.
Aye.
Well, I have actually been in the Pavilion stage. I went to the Panto one year. on
Don't
a-
say it, don't say it,
on a
don't
s-
say it,
on a
don't say
school
it.
trip.
Oh no, you didn't. Sorry.
He said it. He said it.
Fuck off.
I went to the Pavilion Panto one year as like a school
Oh no, you didn't.
trip. Right, no, do you want me to push that?
No, it's a push the thing.
And for whatever reason, they invited us. In fact, I think they invited us backstage after it or onto the stage
What was it, a panto?
Panto,
All right. No.
and it was our high school was getting shut down the year, like basically as soon as we left. They
Oh
knocked-
no, it wasn't.
They knocked the thing down. Right, I'm leaving the podcast. And they were like, "There's a school in that's getting shut down, and that's really sad. So after the show, you can all come on the stage and get your picture with us." And that was like,
Amazing.
life changing.
Aye.
I shook my hand with the lion for the Wizard of Oz.
Oh, don't never do that. They don't try and bite you.
No, I think it was Grado. No, it was
What was it?
the lion. No, the lion was Dean Park.
Oh,
This was-
he's an old comedian, isn't he? He's like,
Aye.
I know the name. He was
Grado
about,
wasn't in it that year. I know he's
I
in
used
it
to
now.
young for that. Was what age you again? You're 28 or something?
26.
Or 26? Young cunt, man.
Wee guy for what's his name? Stephen Purton for River City.
Right,
He was in it. Him and he's actually got a good podcast. It's a football podcast, but
right.
they talk about
Football.
well, they do a wee section of football, but most of it's actually just talking fun
Shite.
nonsense. It's him, it's Grado, Stephen Purton, and Kris Toll.
Was that the wee guy?
Aye.
Aye, no, I've seen clips here. Aye,
So
I've
the
seen
three
wee
of them.
clips
That's
here.
it.
Aye.
It's like because I've got so many clips on my TikTok just for all sorts
Aye.
of podcasts. That one came up, so I've started watching that recently.
Aye,
It's good fun.
no, the thing is with podcasts are good because I've never actually watched the full podcast.
Aye.
But you see wee clips of them just having a bit of banter,
Yeah,
take the piss out of each other. It's quite good.
that's a good one.
Aye.
And I don't even like football, but I'll even
Aye.
like listen to them
You know
talk
what?
about football because it's fun.
I don't like football either, right? Like I'm not a fan of football. But see when I'm out doing my Just Eat job, right? I've obviously not got a car at this point in time. But when I'm out doing Just Eat, I'll listen to Radio Clyde's football phone in for
Oh,
6
aye.
o'clock.
You don't listen to that for the football, though, do you?
No,
You listen to that for the
the
mad.
banter's brilliant, man.
Aye.
They're funny as fuck, and I kind of like I kind of keep an eye on scores in football, but I couldn't tell you who plays for Celtic or Rangers.
No, not really. I'm not even that into Scottish or English or whatever. I get into it more international. Like I've been following Scotland's Euro stuff.
Aye. Second,
We watched like there was 2 Scotland games while we were away on holiday this week. We sat and watched them. Went into a wee Irish pub one day
aye.
because I was trying to find somewhere that had the game on. And I walked in. There was only one wee guy in it. And I walked in wearing a Scotland top, and the guy
Aye.
goes, "Well, thank fuck for that. I thought I was going to be the only one."
Aye, he's Scottish guy. I see. I like the last. I enjoyed. Like, remember when Scotland were in the Euros? Was it 2
Aye.
years ago or 3 years ago?
Aye.
Remember, like, so I watched that one of my mates' houses. We had a barbecue and we watched Scotland.
That was a good summer. That it was like the first summer after COVID, wasn't it? Because it
Aye.
was meant to be 2020
Aye,
that
aye.
Euro, and then it got put to 21.
Was it 21? Was it?
Aye, so that would have been 2 years ago.
Right. Okay. Aye. So I remember like we watched it and Scotland beat England 0-0.
They beat them now.
We did. No, that was a victory, man. It was fucking brilliant. We were all singing "Flower of Scotland," I Can Boogie, and all that kind
Isn't
of
that
shit.
the best national anthem in the world, Flower of Scotland?
Aye,
See, when you
aye,
listen to, like, my sport of choice is F1, right?
right.
So, like, whoever wins when they're on the podium, they play the their national anthem
Aye.
and then their team's national anthem, and it's all, no matter what country it is, they all sound the same. Just
Aye.
boring, mad,
Na,
wee
na,
trumpets.
na,
I do it actually.
na,
The
na.
Italian, Scotland's obviously the best. I don't think I've ever played Flower of Scotland on a
Aye.
F1 podium, but the Italian one. Do you know the Italian national anthem?
Nah.
It's,
You gonna sing it? You're a musician, Chris.
I'll give you a-
This is your chance to shine.
I'll give you a wee example, right? The first section of it just sounds like every other boring, trumpet shit.
Aye.
And then halfway through, with it, the Italians are quite
Is it halfway
flamboyant.
through George Bowie comes on?
No, well, it's the national anthem equivalent of it, like a bass drop, because the trumpets
Oh, really?
they start
Aye.
like speeding up a wee bit, and then they go do 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 do. It's like a circus song.
All
It's
right.
good fun.
Can you put that on? Can you add that on when you're editing? A wee
But the
bit of-
actual song,
Aye, add that on. So this is this.
I can.
So
In
this.
fact,
What's this, Chris?
we're
See if
recording
it
here.
works. So this is how the see if you can do this for your skills. This is how the Italian national anthem sounds. I pretend we're listening to it, right? And that was amazing, wasn't it?
it was quite a short rendition, wasn't it?
Ah, but they'll be editing in there. I don't know. I don't know how that works anyway. So.
I'm going to edit some time travel in
Aye,
somehow.
aye, aye.
I was going to actually play it here for us to listen to. But
Oh, you going to do that? You can do that.
Aye, this is coming through. I just wanted. I'll fast forward it to the fun wee bit. you know.
Aye, aye. This is at Classic FM now, isn't it? So is this a build up?
Try to find the good bit.
Eh?
Try to find the good bit.
There's just been 500 listeners just dropped out, Chris.
Listen, see if we had 500 to start with. That's good.
Aye. This is worse than that awkward silence we had yesterday.
Well, maybe not. It's not an awkward silence. It's a self-inflicted minute silence that you like to do
Right,
far too
it
often.
was a good silence. Aye, it was like embrace the awkwardness.
Don't you dare put one in right now. Yeah, maybe it's here.
I'm in the mood for a pizza now. Sometimes I like to tell Italians that I put pineapple on pizza and they hate it.
I do put pineapple on pizza.
I know,
It's great.
I actually do as well, but then it offends the fuck out of them. I love it. I love ham and pineapple's my favourite pizza.
Aye, probably me too.
Aye.
Talking about pizza with an Italian anthem in the back.
Aye.
I'm not going to bother with that. I'll find
Right.
it, put it in.
So you could add that.
Here's a fun pizza. Here's a fun pizza story. When we were on holiday,
You had a pizza?
aye, end of story. What's next? No, we were steaming one night. Went to a wee kebabi shop,
Aye.
and I wanted a doner pizza, doner kebab on a pizza,
Doner kebab? Like
Well,
doner meat?
doner meat on a pizza.
Oh, yeah.
So there was obviously even a bit of miscommunication there. So see, when it was a foreign guy, so Ainsley I think she got ham and pineapple, and there was like one on the menu that said like kebab pizza.
Right.
So I said, "Can I have the kebab pizza, please?" And he went, "You want chicken or meat?"
Where was this guy from? Was this Fuzzy Bear, was it? Aye.
It looked.
You want chicken? It sounds like a big...
It had a Soviet tinge to him.
All right. Sounds like the guy you get landed in jail with, and you're like, yeah, you have to become he's like, I'm your daddy.
But if he was slightly more English speaking, I might have been like, "Do you know chicken is meat?" But no, I was just like, "Yeah, I'll have both." Cheers.
Aye.
It was good. It was really good. Actually.
All right, I thought it was going to be something we weren't expecting. Then they come in with a chocolate cake or something.
No, I just like the idea of asking the question, "Do you want chicken or meat?" As if
Oh,
As
right,
if
right,
chicken
right. Sorry,
isn't meat.
I missed that there. Aye, I missed that. I was too busy kind of with the accent there.
with my racism.
Your
Sorry.
racist accent there.
Sorry about that.
You know, so I think what we're going to talk today, you don't going to talk about an actual, you had an actual list of
where are
stuff you
you?
wanted to do.
You assigned me some
So I gave,
podcast homework.
so if you didn't watch yesterday's podcast, I said, look, we're going to actually kind of put a list together. And I gave Chris a homework of actually writing a list of stuff he wants today.
And I've got one, and we're starting at 37 minutes into an hour
That's
long
all right,
podcast.
man, that's all right.
So, the wee example that I gave yesterday when you asked, Rift, sorry. I said I want to sing in Nashville.
Right.
So I've been to Nashville twice. I've watched plenty of people singing, but next time I go, I want to
Right.
I want to get up on a stage, whether
So-
it's on open mic or whatever.
So how did you not sing the last time? 'Cause you just didn't have your stuff for you.
Well, a lot of the places it's like open mics, and obviously people come from all over, so there's usually like a house guitar or whatever. I just wasn't really.
All right, so they'll have stuff for you to
But
use.
I wasn't really at open mics or anything. I was only at like gigs. I was in a pub where there's a band playing.
Aye.
I wasn't really there to at open
So-
mics or anything.
So is it quite easy to get on an open mic if you want?
I don't know. I've never tried in Nashville.
Right. So all you need to do is ask. Is there maybe like a...
I know Gary Johnson's got up on a few places in Nashville. He's got some contacts over there.
So there you go, just ask him then.
Aye.
So, Gary, how do I get open mics and
Gary,
Nashville?
get me a gig in Nashville.
So that's how
please.
easy it is. Like sometimes you think this is a big deal,
Aye.
but you've got the music ability. So you're a musician. You're good at what you do. I've never actually seen you, but I'm just assuming you are. So all you need to do is go, Gary, how do you
You
get
saw,
an open mic?
you saw me singing the Italian anthem there with my.
All right, you did the wings. So all you need to do is speak to Gary. Go. I want to do this. I went, all right. What do I do? Do you know MD? Because sometimes there might be like a forum. Like
Probably,
the it's like the stand-up comedy world has like different forums.
Yeah.
So there's a Scottish Comedy Forum, there's an open mic forum. So basically gone there, you go, all right. So basically there was a guy the other day that I told you about. Like he contacted me on TikTok. He just started doing stand-up. He went, where's all the open mics? And that was only one message. I went, all right, here's a PDF that I've got.
Yeah.
It was on one of the forums, sent him that. And now all he has to do is either go to the venues, speak to them, go, I'm looking to do some spots.
Yeah.
And then he'll do it.
Good
Because
stuff.
usually you find that like usually things that are on your bucket list are actually easier than you think
Yeah.
to do.
A lot of these are. It's more of a sort of mental thing
Oh, aye,
blocking me
totally.
from doing these, rather than some of them it's like financial stuff that we'll
Aye,
get to.
aye, aye. So what's the other ones?
My next one is go to Hawaii. I've always wanted to go to Hawaii. Again, this is more traditional bucket
Aye.
rather than fuck it, but we'll get on
Right,
to
see,
this
see, the thing is, I'm going to borrow some of these as well.
stuff. Are we all going to Hawaii? We'll do a Hawaii podcast.
Aye,
We'll get the wee flowers on
aye,
this.
aye, because that's the kind of thing. See, the kind of sometimes like this is what I think of this, right? So see a bucket list. Sometimes you've got things that you want to do because of your experience of life, and you think I want to do this, which is fair enough. But sometimes it's good to do something that somebody else suggests.
Yeah.
Because then you get, because the thing is, the good stuff happens with doing things you don't plan.
Yeah.
So if I go, fuck it, I'm going to Hawaii. So like I've decided now I'm going to Hawaai just because you said that.
Do I
And
find
then-
a business to buy flights for us?
Aye, aye. So I want to go to Hawaii now, just because you've said that, right?
Yeah.
And I like that idea. I just going, fuck it, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Because I've never been. I don't know much about Hawaii. I know they've got the Hawaii skirts and all that. What do you
Yep.
call them?
I don't know.
I don't know. They Hawaii skirts. Just because you've said that, I want to go to Hawaii now.
I don't even know why. It's just, see, yesterday when you said I've always wanted to be able to do a backflip, my version of that is
Aye.
going to Hawaii. I don't know why.
Aye, so I want to do a backflip. Right. So I'm going to write. I'm writing mine down as well to remind myself. So you want to go to Hawaii, right?
Next one's a two-parter actually.
Right.
So as I said a minute ago, I'm into my Formula One.
Right.
So I've been to two F1 races in my life, both at Silverstone in England,
Right.
2014 and 2015. So I want to go to more F1 races, and I want to do like international ones. So there's
Right.
there's one in Belgium I want to go to. There's one in Italy, and I want to do one of like the cool nighttime ones over in like Singapore or Abu Dhabi or Bahrain.
Aye, that sounds good as well.
And then on top of that, I want to drive an F1 car.
Drive an F1 car.
Which
Right, I'm adding these into mine as well.
Do you want to race?
Aye. Aye. I'm sure there's
I think you can do like
you can hire them or you can
Aye,
go places.
you can do ones that's like not quite an F1 car because there's like all different levels of you get
Aye.
Formula Renault, Formula
Is it
3000, 2000, or the old ones. So
is
there's
there
like,
not like a place in Scotland you could do that? There's a thing you
I don't know
can
if you can do it in Knock Hill.
Knock Hill, is that the place that you can drive?
I know you can do like track days there, and they've got cars.
Like can you drive Ferraris and shit in
Aye,
there?
you can do that kind of thing.
See, that's what I want to do. Ferrari, right? Drive
Aye.
a Ferrari.
You can do that kind of thing at like tracks all over the place,
Aye.
like just supercars, Ferraris, Aston Martins,
Aye.
Lamborghinis. But it's a bit more sort of, I don't even know if there's anybody that does a real F1 car.
Aye.
But
Just
that's
Google
part
it.
of the dream. I'll look into
So
it.
see the thing with a fuck it is, right? I think the kind of so I'm going to do a course, right? At least for fun, but I think it's real as well. How to the fuck it process, right?
Right.
It's like you go, you think of something you want to do, And the most important bit is going, fuck it, I'm doing that.
Yep.
Right? So you don't work out how to do it yet. Because everything's doable, right? We'll just assume that, right? Everything's doable. Everything has a process of getting there.
Aye, like as you were saying, going to Australia, you decided you were going to do
I
it.
decided I was going.
You didn't know how.
I had no idea how I was going. I was just like fucking stubborn. I was delusional. I decided 100% I was going. I was got there.
And you've been?
I've been twice now. So you decide you're doing it. You can maybe decide when you want to do it, and then the bit in the middle is just focus. Right, how the fuck do I do it? You ask yourself, how do I get there? What do I need? What do I need? You know, if I need money, right, you need to work out how to make money. Which is could be a hard bit. You just work out the process. You find out somebody that's done it. How do I do this? Like going to Nashville.
Yep.
You know, Gary's probably done it. So you ask him, Gary, how do I get gigs in Nashville? Go, phone this guy, speak to him. When you're going, he'll put you on.
Yep.
Easy.
Simple as.
Aye. If you want to do like the Formula One thing, Google it. How do I drive a Formula One car? And you might think there might be somewhere in Newcastle that you pay like 200 quid for the day.
Aye.
You save up your money, or you get out of your way. You go, fuck it, let's go down to Newcastle. You have a wee shot.
Yeah.
Tick it off the list.
So there we are.
Aye.
That's number 4 on my list. Next one.
What's the next one?
I mentioned it yesterday. Go to space.
Go to space.
Now I do. That sounds a bit mad,
No.
but I do think within my lifetime, like
Aye.
affordable commercial space travel could be a thing.
Aye. And see that one, right? See,
I'm not saying I want to go to the moon or anything. I just want to go up and see.
Aye. See what's going on.
Aye.
But you might end up with like a flat earther and bouncing off the firmament. What's it called? There's a big dome. So
It's like over Springfield in The Simpsons.
Aye,
maybe.
so I've ended up, the algorithms in TikTok are giving me hundreds of fucking flat earth videos. So they're saying there's a big firmament, they call it. There's a big dome over us. So
Right.
you basically, you'll not get there, you'll bounce off of that. There's nothing, it's water outside. So according to them, there's a big dome and then it's just water.
Okay, well, if that's there, I want to see it.
Right?
Whatever's there, I want to see it.
But you can't get through it. So go to space. And see, the thing with that is, like, that most people think that sounds mental,
Yeah.
right? But the point is, if you have that on your mind, whether it happens or not is kind of a Disney matter 100%. But if you it won't happen if you decide I can't do it.
Yeah.
And eventually, because they were talking about it, was it not like Richard Branson was doing it? Is it not happening yet? Or some people have done it?
I mean, people like him, Richard Branson, Jeff Bezos.
They've done it.
They've done it.
There's Captain Kirk done it.
He went with Jeff Bezos.
Aye, so there's a small amount of big celebrities done it.
Yeah, it's at the point where if you've got millions and billions,
Aye.
you can do it now. But I think that can reasonably come down to
Aye, so you might get it for like 100 grand.
Aye.
Or something like that. If that's something so that might happen, aye.
One
So,
day.
but in fact, if you've got it, then one day you go, fucking done it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Right, the next few are a bit less bucket listy and a bit more personal. So I've got try stand-up comedy.
Yes.
So I know we talked about this, I think, on the first episode.
Aye.
We made a wee deal that I'm going to do a bit of stand-up and you're going to like learn a song and do an
Right.
open mic.
Right, so that's what we're planning as well. I talked about this before.
Yep.
So I was saying to Kris, so this is November, but I'm starting my next, I do comedy workshops. It's 6 weeks. And Kris you're going to, you might come along.
I'm going to.
So Kris is coming along. If this is out before then, there might still be tickets available. Probably not. It's from the 21st of January for 6 weeks, and then there's a gig. You can come to the gig at the end. They'll get the details up.
Mm-hmm.
So usually I have like maybe 12 people,
Yep. and
and we've got between 1 and 5 every Sunday. I kind of get people on stage as often as possible.
Yeah.
And then they work out. So we kind of give them loads of exercises, writing exercises, confidence building stuff, and eventually after 6 weeks we do a lot. So I get them practicing.
Do you know what one of the bits I'm most nervous about trying stand-up?
But
See, when I'm on stage singing and stuff, feel perfectly comfortable. I've been doing it since I was like 4
Aye.
years old, right? See, standing on stage without holding a guitar,
aye,
I don't like the idea of that.
Oh,
I feel
totally, aye.
I feel like it's a shield.
aye.
So, and see, like when I'm at gigs, sometimes between songs, I'll maybe have a wee bit of banter.
Aye.
I'm not like Billy Connolly. That's what he did, didn't he? He was
Aye,
like
aye,
he started singing, doing a wee bit of banter in between, and then the banter started becoming.
Aye, and then the music
The
less.
film.
Aye.
But I don't know how I feel about just standing on a stage
Aye, it's scary.
without a guitar. So
Because Gary Johnson done it years ago.
I think he mentioned it. I'd seen a video of him do it or something.
The thing is, Gary, he'd done it. He didn't. I don't know if he'd done stand up without his guitar though. So he done like musical comedy with a bit of banter in between.
Aye, because he's always done silly wee bits.
So he
in
kind of
between.
is still doing what he done. So I think to get him to let go of his guitar and just got him talk without his his skills.
Aye, but I mean, I know for me, I'm saying like, oh, that's the scary bit. Like,
Aye.
I also need to learn how to like write a joke.
Aye. So that's what we'll do. So that's why it's scary, right? And you're not allowed to do musical comedy. We
Aye.
can eventually, but for the first few.
No, I wouldn't want to do that. I would want to do
I just stand up.
stand up. Aye.
Aye. There's a lot of musicians, they kind of who do comedy, they kind of cheat and bring their guitar.
Aye, which
And there's
it can be good.
Aye, there's loads of
But
brilliant
a lot
musical
of it
comedians.
can be shite.
Aye. There's loads of really good musical comedians.
I've heard, I don't know if this is true for everyone, but I've heard a lot of comedians say, like, if you're on a bill and you're like going into a green room in a club or a venue or whatever, and you see a comedian come in with a guitar and you see he's a musical comedian, there's a bit of eye rolling, like, oh, one of them. Is that the case?
No, really, man. I kind of no, for me, I think it's all right.
No.
I feel they're good
Aye.
because it kind of, to be fair, it breaks up a night a wee bit. It's good to
That's
have
something a wee bit different.
Aye, so it's good like, on a comedy night. It's good having a bit of variety.
Yeah. Well, that gig was at last night. Ainsley was at a gig, playing at
Aye.
a gig last night with another band, and there was 3 acts on, and they were all very different. So it was like one was just
Aye.
a solo girl singing, playing the keys.
Aye,
Then the next one was like a duo, so it was like a guy playing guitar and a girl playing the violin.
aye,
Very different style of music. And then the band Ainsley's with came on and they're like a big loud funk
Aye.
thing. So you know what I mean? It was
that's what you need. And like, most comedy nights, if I've booked like I've occasionally ran some comedy nights, no loads, and when I'm booking a bill, I want a bit of variety. You know, so I'll have.
Like, you don't want to book like, 2 hours worth of comedians that are the very similar
Aye,
styles. You want
aye.
different stuff.
You
I know
don't
what
want like 2 hours of just straight white males,
Aye.
unless they're all completely
Aye,
different.
they can still get them with different styles of comedy.
Aye,
but I
I'd
know what you
maybe
mean.
get like a. So I'd maybe get like maybe get a girl on, maybe like a gay guy on,
Yeah.
different kind of demographic. You maybe like a musical comedian on,
Aye, and
or
then
just
you're-
different. Just people are different.
And then you're more,
different
you're more
styles.
likely to please more people in the
Aye.
audience as well with that.
And if I've got, because you kind of know styles, you know somebody that's kind of a storyteller, somebody's a one-liner guy,
Yeah, yeah.
somebody's like, improvises, going off on a tangent, so you want a bit of mix.
Aye. Maybe like a character act or something.
Aye, get a character act, you know, so aye.
Yeah, so try stand-up comedy is on the list.
Aye, so that's me, I've got mine as well to do, so we'll film that, I think.
Yeah,
So when we're doing the workshop, we'll do wee videos of you doing it, and we'll
Aye.
talk about it with your first workshop, how you got on, were you nervous?
aye, that sounds good.
And you can teach me how to play music.
Aye.
So
Right.
guitar, so I've got my guitar, I can start practicing. So this is kind of inspiring me to bring the guitar out. It's all dusty. It probably needs tuned up again.
Listen, mine are dusty and out of tune as well, and I do play.
And it's quite easy. Like I've not got a musical ear because there's a wee app that I found you can tune it up using the app.
Aye, aye.
Which is
Loads of
good.
it.
Because I couldn't do it by ear. Can you tune guitars with ear?
Yes.
Ah, see that.
But as I say, I've like been playing guitar since I was 4 and
Aye,
grew
aye.
up like all my family play guitar as well. So it's like
Aye.
it's always been around.
So do you think so we'll go back to that. like the musical ear is learnable? Or do you-
I think part of it might be sort of potentially genetic
Aye.
because, as I say, I come from a very musical family.
Aye.
But I think through just enough exposure
Aye.
to it, you can probably pick it up. I know for me, as I say, it came quite naturally, but I know other people that started music a bit later in life and didn't necessarily come from a musical family that have kind of just learned that skill.
Because I think there's some people, like especially comedy, there's some people are natural, they pick it up right away. And then there's some people that are a bit shite, but they work hard at it and they end up better than the naturals.
Aye, totally.
So let's see about the working. Right, what's your next one?
Right, next one. There's a time scale on this one.
Right.
This is the 22nd of November, and I've put I want to do another gig this year.
Another gig? Just one gig?
Just one gig. That's only like 4 weeks, and I'm a busy boy.
Right. Right, so you get your finger out then. Right.
I do.
So how are you going to do that?
It
It's dead easy, isn't it?
is dead easy, as I said. I think I said this in the last episode. I was like, there's people I know that I could message and just be like,
It was just a solo gig, you
"Can I
mean?
playing?" Probably me and Ainsley.
Right, aye, because you do.
I
thing
don't-
like
Sometimes when we play, if it's like a longer set and we don't have enough songs to both sing, we'll do like a wee bit where I sing a few in my own and she'll sing a few in her
that.
own.
Right, aye.
That kind of thing. Depends on hard availability, whatever we can do. If I can
Make
do
it
one.
happen, Chris. So like, see a wee thing you done there. You made a wee excuse. You went, depends on her availability. That's
No, I mean in terms of I'm definitely going to do one,
Right.
but depending on her availability,
Oh,
it
well, if
might
she
be it might be a both of us gig.
right.
But
So
if-
when's your time scale for that? So
I want to do it by the end of the year,
By the end of the year, right? So I'm going to be a dick to you then until you do that.
and then sort of leading on from that one. Now this one to you is going to seem like dead
What?
lazy. I want to do at least 12 gigs next year. Now you
Right.
do like 100, I know, don't you?
Aye.
But for me, like I've done, I think only one, maybe two this year.
Right.
But I feel like a good target to set for next year
How
is one a month
right?
on average.
Right. How only? No, just interested. I'm like, I think it'd be good like you do that. But how only 12 though? Just
Because I just think having only done one or what this year, I think it's a good. I want to just say like one a month.
right.
See if I get to, I don't know, March and I happen to have done 12. I'm not going to stop.
Right. Okay. Right. All right. So I like that. I
But
like
12's
that.
like a minimum.
Right. I get that. Right. So. Aye, because I kind of agree with that. Sometimes you get, I do, no, I do sometimes. I give myself big targets, then it becomes too overwhelming,
Oh yeah.
and then I kind of go, fuck it, it's too much. Because I used to do it for, like, see, like social media. I used to give myself targets of doing like 5 TikToks a day.
Right.
And end up kind of a weekend, I was like, I've done fuck all. But see, recently I've decided I'm going to do one a day,
No, something a bit more attainable.
attainable. But then if it starts getting a bit of traction, I'll get more motivated.
Oh,
and
we
I
said
can
that
do 2 a
yesterday.
day.
The fuck it list is dynamic.
Aye,
So if I say I'll do at least 12 gigs next year, and I get part of the way through the year and I've done 12,
Aye.
I'm going to be like, all right, let's make it 20.
aye,
And if I do 20, I'll go, right, let's make it 50.
aye.
There's a bit of a jump that.
I get that.
Um,
So like, there's a kind of a philosophy. Like, I'll be listening to a lot of mad podcasts, and there's somebody saying, like, see for exercise. I can't remember what it was. Like, you give yourself a target of the minimum. Let's see if you say to yourself, I'm going to do 1 press up a day. Like one. Like somebody say, I'm going to do 1 press up a day. So just give yourself that target, doing 1 press up a day, and it's just the idea of going, you do 1, but then you're there. You go, I might as well do 10.
Aye, definitely.
Because you're just down there, you go 1, you can't just do 1. But even if you just do 1, it's a target, but then you go, oh fuck, I'll just do 2 now. And it's just, because you're doing 1 or 2, it becomes easier. And I sometimes do it, I go, right, I'm going to write for 5 minutes. But
Quite
then,
often the hard bit isn't actually doing the thing, it's making yourself start doing the thing.
aye,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
aye. And sometimes if I sit down to do 5 minutes, I do 5 minutes and I go, all right, I actually start getting into the flow yet. And you do a bit longer.
Aye, that's how it works, isn't it?
Aye. So initially my instinct was to go like, fucking do more than 12, you lazy bastard. But then I thought, no, you're right. So
But
get
compared
yourself
to what
like-
I've done this year, I've done
Aye.
1 this year. So,
So,
I'm like,
so I think with that, you'll probably do 1 a month, but then you get a wee buzz for it again.
I will have, as I say,
Aye.
I've kind of got the buzz for it now. I said that yesterday, like this wee week I've had off, turned off the work bit of my brain, and it's
Aye.
kind of reignited that passion for doing music and this and
Aye. And I think talking about stuff like this kind of helps you
aye,
do more.
talking about it even
Because
rather than
I'll
just in
push
your
you a
own
wee
head.
bit, and you probably push me a wee bit.
Aye.
I'm all right, fucking hell, aye. So what's the
Eh,
next one?
right, next one, quite a general one. I want to prioritise my personal life more over work.
Ah,
Whether that's, as I say, doing music stuff or just like seeing my family.
aye, that's cool, aye. I guess
Yeah.
sometimes you can get stuck doing work stuff.
Aye, it's like that's the kind of year I've had where it's
Aye.
like work's been number one for everything,
Aye.
and then I'm kind of fitting everything else in around it. Do you know what I mean?
Like you doing the extra hours or something like that, or are you?
Aye, I've been doing quite a lot, which I've been doing it for like 5 years now, and that's just kind of become the norm. Do you know what I mean? I didn't even really think about it,
Aye.
but now I'm like submitting timesheets every month, and I can't mind the last time I seen a week that was like less than 60 odd hours.
Aye.
So, aye, I think
No,
it's
that's good, aye, because it's like then if you do that, you have more time for give yourself more time for your music as well.
Aye, that's it. Aye, that's a big one. And then again, the next one kind of follows on from that. I kind of want to start prioritising my fitness and
Aye.
kind of focusing on my health and stuff a bit more, which is definitely kind of falling away a bit
Aye.
this year compared to probably where I was this time last
Aye.
year.
Aye, because you were fairly keep yourself fit last year, you said, aye.
Aye, the main kind of period was just before lockdown.
But you
With
were keeping fit.
Aye, so but just before lockdown, I'd lost for like 6 months.
Aye.
I'd lost, I think, 3.5, 4 stone.
Right.
And then since COVID and whatnot, I've kind of been a bit up and down. I've kind of gone through
Aye.
periods of a few months where I'll like be really good at eating, working out, and then
Aye.
again work takes over, and then
Aye, it's like when you're out working, you're driving because you drive a lot.
I drive a lot, and
stop at a garage, a wee Mars bar, a wee bag of fucking.
then and then I work quite a lot of night shifts as well, so it's like hard to get into a routine of like going to the gym at a certain time every day. So I want to get that, and I've also put in a wee random thing that popped into my head at the end here. I want to try yoga. Don't know why.
Right, right. I've done yoga. Like I've done the odd class, and I'll put that in as well because I in fitness, like my fitness, I'm doing a lot of running now. But I'm doing running, but I need to get back to the gym, build up a wee bit of muscle and stuff like that. Right. So
I've never been to a yoga class. I've done some of the like home things on the. You can do it on the telly.
Aye.
Sometimes I do. Again, through lockdown, I did a bit of that. There's an Apple thing that does fitness. It's like connects to your watch.
Aye. There's loads of wee YouTube videos and stuff.
Aye, all that kind of stuff. Everyone was mad about the Joe Wicks workouts and that on YouTube during lockdown, wasn't it?
There's loads.
But I quite like the high intensity. See the HIIT training? You ever do that? High intensity interval training.
No, I've probably done classes in that at the gym before.
So you see them do it in the gyms. There was a wee bit at our hotel where they were doing it. Obviously never took part.
We were on holiday. You're there to kind of fuck your...
It was right in front of our balcony, right? So it's like it's usually, you pick an exercise, say star jumps. You do star jumps for 30 seconds and then you rest for 30 seconds. So this kind of thing, but there's like a wee beeping timer to let you know when to stop. But this wee bit that they were doing it in the hotel was right outside our balcony, and we were waking up hungover like every morning. Like, what's that beeping? Oh, it's people working out.
Look at these weirdos like after their health and holiday.
It's no for me. But I have tried a few like yoga classes in that sense, like at home, just doing it on the telly, and I'd get a nice. There's the one I did. It was like you could pick to do like a sort of energizing yoga class or a sort of relaxing one. Like, I didn't even realise that was a thing. I just thought yoga was stretching.
And yoga's fucking tough, man. Like, so I've done it. Like, I've done a couple of classes, and I've done it years ago. And the Barratines and steps.
Oh yeah.
So I was going to that. I know I remember that. I was a member there years ago, and I was fairly fit at that point. I was running. I used to run up from Moodiesburn, which was 3 miles. Right. I'd do like an hour and a half workout, then run back. Mm-hmm. So my auntie used to go, right, and she was there, and she used to go to the yoga class. Mm-hmm. And she was like, you should come to the yoga class. I went, aye, all right, fucking... And I was like, there was like all older women, like, and
my gran used to go. My gran and her wee pal Margaret used to go.
And
of course my gran's pal's called Margaret.
Elsie and Margaret. And, so they were all like I was there struggling. Like I was fairly fit as in running and weights and stuff. But they were all fucking. They were in positions that I was like, how the fuck? And I was like, that's still something for me that I'd love to sort out my flexibility because I've always been shit with that. Like, I can't even touch my toes. I've been able to touch my toes a handful of times in my life, and it's stretch is meant to be brilliant for you.
Aye, I've for going to that, I've got a wee bit of. We were talking yesterday about a kind of fear of being judged. So see, when I go to the gym, I don't care about what MD else thinks. Do you know what I mean? Like, you see big fucking guys, and then you see other people that are just starting at the gym, struggling to lift the bar without any weights on it. I don't judge anyone, and I don't feel when I'm at the gym I'm not fussed about getting judged. But for me, for whatever reason, I feel different about going to like a class, like a yoga class or something, because I feel like there's going to be like all these like wee skinny ladies and
because mostly women will be at it. I get that.
And then I'm like just big fucking guy at the back that's going to be like, oh, can't fucking nerve.
I get that.
So there's a wee bit of thingy, which is why I quite liked when I've tried it just in the house, because you don't get that. But
because I think it's kind of it seems to be like a mostly female thing, isn't it? Like go to yoga.
I don't know if that's actually true. That's just my perception. I've never been to a class.
The classes I've been, me and my mate went one, and we were only 2 blokes.
That's kind of how I assumed it would be. I'm sure it's not always. I'm sure there's plenty.
Mostly it is. It's just the way it is. It's you know, they're rowdy blokes going, and I felt as if I was kind of when I went, I felt as if I was kind of intruding. That's what it felt like. Cause I was the same as you. I'm the only bloke here. I was like, fucking hell, I feel like a
But I mean, everyone in that room had their first day where they couldn't do it. So there's no need to feel.
And there's and I think flexion's good. There's a guy. Have you ever heard of David Goggins?
Who's gonna carry the boats?
Fucking David Goggins, man. Right, put a clip of him up with the edit. Right, who's gonna carry it? You can have that.
Can I have a button?
I have a David.
Right next to.
Oh, fuck off, right.
He said it.
Right, next week we're having a who's gonna carry the boats button.
Aye, right.
Good. 22. Who's gonna carry the boats?
So David Goggins, right, amazing guy. I met him once.
Oh really?
I went to a seminar in London. Was it London, I think? And it was just 2 days of speakers. And I only went because I knew he was on. The other speakers were great. He was on.
Yeah.
And doing, just chatting. And so he was like, he'd run like 100-mile races when they training and all that. It was pissing blood and shit like that. Just fucking, it was like a Navy SEAL, mental, love him.
Aye, that was like originally he was like a big massive guy and he wanted to join the Navy, didn't he?
Aye.
And he had like a certain amount of time.
Aye.
I've seen the videos.
So it was the Navy SEALs, and he said there was only two, like, they said there's a very small percentage of black guys that get in.
Yeah.
I don't know why, I don't know the reason for that. And he decided he was getting in.
Yep.
And I think he failed a couple of times, but eventually got in and became one of the top guys.
Aye.
You know, so see, he was like, doing this running for years, and he's struggling for a bit, and he learned how to do stretching.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he was unflexible as fuck. And he says there's a muscle, I think it's called the psoas muscle, right? I don't know much about it. So it's in your legs, it's your hips or something like that. And he started stretching that, and he said, and I've learned a lot from him. And this psoas muscle, it holds a lot of trauma.
Okay.
So he said he started stretching this muscle, and eventually it released a lot of stuff. Like,
Aye.
you know, like fucking, we've all got trauma of some sort.
Aye, but I've seen a lot of stuff about how mental trauma can then manifest in physical
Aye.
ailments, you know?
So I'm not saying don't take my word for this. Don't kind of say to me, oh, he thinks he's just he's all right.
So don't take financial advice
Don't take
or
financial
medical advice.
all right. But he says, he kind of says it's a lot of tension is kind of stored in your body.
Yeah.
And when he started doing this, he just felt happier. He kind of released this tension.
Yeah, I feel that anyway. Like when I go through periods of whether it's eating better or working out,
Oh, totally.
you feel better rather than like coming home and eating a wee microwave burger and
Aye.
playing the Xbox on it.
Aye, and because I'm doing a lot of running now, and it's like, and sometimes I start running when I'm feeling a bit mentally fucked.
Aye.
I hit the running, and then a few weeks later, I'm like, oh fucking aye, you know, why am I not doing this all the time? Because I know it's good for me.
Again, it's like that mental block. There's no reason for you not to do something, but you just don't.
I know.
Right, a few more wee things. We're already over the hour, but this can be a wee extended episode.
Aye, it's been a good one today.
Right, what was the last one? Try yoga. Right, so the next one.
I'm going to do yoga now, right?
Yes. What about hot yoga?
That sounds creepy as fuck. I know that's meant to be good.
It's like yoga in a sauna or something.
So I think there's classes they do in Glasgow and they're huge.
Aye, I've seen a few of them. I think there's one in Cumbernauld somewhere. I think it's maybe up Ward Parkway.
Aye.
Our old stomping ground.
Aye.
But I'm assuming that's more of a we'll get good at yoga, then do it in the hot. The way it
Why
goes.
not just go straight in?
Because we'll die, that's why.
It's meant to be tough. It's meant to be tough, but that's the point of doing it though.
Have you seen you ever seen the Joe Rogan stuff when they do the Sober October challenges?
That.
So him, Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, and Ari Shafir. Not done it in a wee while, but they used to do these Sober October challenges where it had to be sober for October.
Aye.
No drinking, like no drugs, no weed, anything. And they would always set like a kind of fitness based challenge as well. So like one year they wore not like Apple Watches, but it was like other fitness trackers. And it was just like for however many calories you burn, you earn a certain number of points.
Aye.
And they put themselves in this wee group, and there was like just whoever at the end of the month has done the most workouts, burnt the most calories, you're the winner.
Aye.
So like Joe Rogan is a fucking machine.
Oh,
like,
he's like,
I've seen there's a video of him. I think it was during Sober October actually.
Aye.
He was like in his garage or something on the cross trainer.
Aye.
And he was sweating that much that it set off the smoke alarm.
Really? Aye. Fucking hell.
I've actually.
He's solid as well, isn't he, Joe?
He's done all his jiu-jitsu and all sorts.
Aye.
I've once steamed from a workout. It's quite
Aye.
cool.
Aye.
But I said they'd done all these mad challenges for Sober October, and it got to the point where like one of them found out a trick where if you didn't have your thing connected to your Bluetooth through the day, the other people couldn't see your points. So he would do like burn like, I don't know, 5,000 calories in a day, and they're all sitting looking at him going, oh, he's behind. And then at the end of the day would connect it and his points would shoot up. And they'd be like, fuck you.
Aye.
Hey, where did that start? Oh, because the hot yoga, one year the challenge was they had to go to like 15 hot yoga classes.
Aye.
and all of them were like, they were just like, oh, it sounds easy enough, and they were all like fucked for it.
Oh, it's fucking hell, man. I've done a couple of classes. It's hard work.
Aye.
And the people that have been doing it for a while, it looks dead easy. And they're maybe saying, like, put that leg there. And I see all these old women doing, they bother. Fuck's sake.
Aye.
Aye, tough.
A potential yogi guest I know we could get on.
All right, a yogi guest.
A yogi guest, Yogi Bear himself.
So we're going to get Yogi and Boo Boo.
Yogi and Boo Boo. His name's David Sai.
Right, who's he then?
So he is a friend of my dad's.
Right.
If I gave you my dad's book yesterday, I'm assuming
Aye,
you
I've
haven't
read it
but,
yet, so
David Sai is a big part of my dad's kind of journey and where he's
Right,
found
so what's
himself.
his story then?
He's Frankie Vaughan, singer for back in the day.
Right, I remember that.
David Sai's his son. He's also
Frankie Vaughan, what was he again? What was he in?
I get mixed up with Frankie Valli sometimes, but it's
I've heard the
definitely,
name.
it's definitely Frankie Vaughan.
Right.
Also cousin of Amy Winehouse,
All right.
and he started a thing down in London called Yoga Beats.
Right.
It's like big kind of the videos I've seen of it. It's like big outdoor yoga classes to music, basically.
Right.
Don't know why I'm getting so.
We're going to do interpretive dance next week.
I'm talking about this like I'm just kind of passing on what my dad said, but he's a close friend of my dad's, and
Oh, that's
my
cool,
dad
aye.
does work with him. My dad's, if you look on YouTube, actually, my dad's done a wee kind of remote podcast with him at one point.
So it's David Sai. So where's he from then?
He's English, I think he's for London-ish.
Aye, because that's Sai. That sounds like a kind of.
I'm not sure the
Is that an English
heritage.
name? It sounds like a.
I'm not sure of the heritage.
for
So that's his YouTube there. Yoga Beats with David Sai.
All right, that sounds interesting. Aye. So that's the kind of guest I'd love to get on.
Well, he
people like
comes
that.
up and visits my dad sometimes. So if he's here, we'll get the two of them on together.
Oh, that'd be good. Aye,
That'd be a-
aye. That'd be good.
but as I
aye.
say, when you get through the book, apart from all his yoga stuff, he's into some other very interesting.
Right.
Let's say, I don't want to say otherworldly stuff, but other.
Aye.
Yeah. It's a long story, but you'll see it in the book,
Aye,
and
cool.
we'll get him on at some point.
You sold it to me. I've not read the book
Yeah.
yet. It's in my bag. So.
Right,
see
go
what
back
you
to
find
my list. I've only got a few.
Let's. This is.
Are we promoting
this
it
is-
here?
Aye, no, but promote your dad's book.
There we
This
go.
is the book. So it's amazing. Well, I've not actually read it yet, but
I've
I'm
been
sure
told.
it is. Been told it's amazing.
Yep.
I'll give you a review next time. Once I read it, I'll tell you what I thought. Yeah.
You can get it on Amazon,
I get it on Amazon.
and then buy hundreds of them, and then one day I'll get it in the inheritance. So
So buy hundreds of books. We're going to have a fuck it list where we kill Chris's dad and get in there.
right, a few more wee
That went a
things
bit
here.
dark there, didn't it?
Yes, after trying yoga, I also want to focus on building this here very podcast.
All right.
It's on my list.
All right. Build podcast. Right.
You
So
know,
we're doing this since I've done 4 episodes now.
well, we're doing it right now, but so I've got to the point where we're starting a Patreon and we start
Aye.
making a bit of money off it.
Aye.
And then kind of again from that, I've got a few of these that I've had a wee idea and just writing it down's made me think, and that could lead to this.
Aye.
So from that, I've got doing this podcast could potentially lead to me producing other podcasts. Like
Right.
I could charge people to
Aye.
come here and use this wee studio,
Aye.
and I would produce podcasts for them. That's
Aye, because the guy that I was initially looking at, guy Paul.
he does Darren's, doesn't he?
Aye, so guy in Glasgow, it's the west end of Glasgow. Just Charing
Just a
Cross
Charing
area.
Cross, innit? I've seen
So I went in to speak to him, and he was like, he was charging for it, and it was like reasonable price.
Aye.
And I was planning to do that, and I thought I couldn't really afford it. It was like, can I try to do it?
For some reason, I'm just doing this. No money.
Aye,
Not yet, though.
No, yet, but we'll do it. But the thing is, like, he's charging, but he does all the editing.
Aye,
as
he's
well.
obviously built it into
It's a good thing.
He's built it in a good business. I've seen loads of podcasts that just I see clips of, and I'm like, that's that same room. Paul's doing that.
Aye,
Like, I know Sean Chalmers does the Fatherless podcast.
Aye.
He does that. There's another movie podcast. Who's that guy you were gigging with the other day? He's got a podcast.
Sure. No.
No, not the one I was at. I saw a picture of him with you. Wait, was it in Perth?
Perth, who was a gig in Perth? Dean. Oh,
Uh,
Dean.
He's got a horror movie podcast,
aye,
didn't he?
aye, they're going to get me on.
Oh, really? So
So-
that's in Paul's as well.
Aye, all right. Aye, so Dean and Al, I think the other guy. So so they're doing like a horror movie
Aye.
podcast.
I've not watched it, but I saw Dean on Darren's podcast talking
Aye.
about it. So
So I'm doing that with them. So that's one of mine to get myself on another podcast as
Aye,
well.
that'd be good.
So that's a good business for you as well. So this is good for me because this was a kind of fuck it with it.
aye,
Because you came with a gig randomly, and that's what I love about random things.
it's like a butterfly effect
Yeah,
thing.
right, do you know, like, so see when I decided that I was going to do a podcast at some point, it was kind of in my brain.
Yep.
and I decided I wanted to do it, and I wasn't sure how to do it. I looked at the guy, but I couldn't afford £100 a week to do it at the moment. But I was thought I'll do it eventually.
At the moment, what, you going to go back to him after this?
No. We're here now. This is what now. You know what I mean? But then I met you because I decided I was doing it.
Yep.
I met you and your pal in Edinburgh, and you decided to come to a gig instead of the other gig you were going to randomly
Because it got cancelled.
because I spoke to you about like I want to do a podcast, blah blah blah, and I don't know if you mentioned it that night.
No, I messaged you like a couple of days later.
A couple of days later, I'm like, aye, that sounds good. I've got the gear, and it just kind of worked out.
Aye.
Sometimes if you put the intention out there, you want something to happen. Eventually,
But I think it's really funny that none of that would have happened if Mike Rice didn't get too drunk the night before and cancel his gig.
it's true, isn't it? Sometimes that's weird. So thanks to Mike Rice for fucking up your gig.
We'll get him on. He's great.
Aye, where does he stay?
He's Irish. He's from Kilkenny, but I think he stays in London.
Right.
But he's up here quite a lot.
So no, I'll keep an eye on. Right, I can keep an eye on when comedians are up this way.
Aye. Well,
So
he's here, and I've just bought tickets for his gig next year.
Right,
We'll check when it is because he could be on your list of 100 people
right. Because
Yeah.
that's one of mine. I want to write a list of 100 people.
because he has gotten quite big in the last few months.
Aye.
On the Lakes I Have a Word, and then he's got his own podcast with Vittorio as well. But just going to double check when his gig is up here.
Because it's a fuck it. She's like, it's a fuck it just to ask people you don't think you'll get.
Yeah.
So it's like just send a message. Go, I'm doing this podcast, the fuck it list.
Yeah.
You know, we're trying to build it. I'd like to get you on. And
So he's at the stand on the 10th of April next year.
right, okay, let's try and work that out. Right, aye. So that's something we can do. We can work out when people are up.
Aye.
Guests that you would like on. All right, okay.
And I'll pester everyone when I'm at altitude. Darryl O'Brien, do you want to come to my house?
Aye.
Right, a few more wee things. So I've put build the podcast, start a Patreon, and potentially lead to producing other podcasts. Next, I've got
So if anybody wants to do a podcast in Chris's studio, it's in Cumbernauld, send a message.
Yep, you will be vetted by my girlfriend though to see if you're allowed because it's our house. But, you know.
Aye, and I'll probably know you, if I know you're a bit dodgy, I'm like that Chris. Like, aye.
Only sound people in my
Aye.
house.
If you're a good cunt and you look to do a podcast, Chris, £500 a week.
Aye, so we can buy better cameras because this one's really annoying me.
That's all right, I like it.
See, this is going to go out of focus and you'll ruin the whole thing. Right. Sorry if we're out of focus now. Right, a couple more. Get a dog. I want a dog.
Get a dog. I love dogs. Right.
Now, I know you're saying, you might be thinking, Chris, you could just get a dog. But I can't, you see, because I work away all the time. I don't want to leave a dog in the house.
Aye, see, that's a tough one. Like, I'd love a dog as well, but I look after my sister's dog quite a lot. German Shepherd. I love it.
I want you to bring her here one day, by the way.
I'd love to, man.
And the dog. Hey!
Well, you called my sister a dog, right?
No.
You did, but then I said I was going to kill your dad a couple of minutes ago.
Let's call it even.
Let's call it even.
No, dog's welcome in the studio.
Aye.
Feel free to bring her.
I'd love to, but I'll need to try and get my sister. She doesn't allow me to take the dog in the car very often.
Because you've not got a car.
I've not got a car, obviously, now, but she's made that. I need to get her used to being in a car.
Aye.
So I work on that and bring her over for
I can be on your list. Get the dog used to being in the car.
Aye.
I want a dog, but it just doesn't really suit life at the moment.
Right.
But see if the last thing comes true and I start, I could start a business and this is my studio and this.
Aye.
If I quit my job and this was my job, I could have a wee dog running about here all day. That'd be great.
Exactly. So that you realise, you notice when you do this, right? What I like about this fuck it list, just today. So all the wee things that you say you want to do, you can work out. Some of them are difficult, takes a lot of work, but it kind of works out. You get some of them right. It has a kind of what's the word? Cumulative. It has like a compound effect. Is that the word?
That is a thing, yeah.
Aye, so kind of you do one.
I said butterfly effect earlier.
That's a butterfly, but it's like you do one. It kind of
leads to the other ones. As I say, like if we do good enough at building this podcast to the point where it becomes a viable business in itself.
Aye. And for me, if this works, the podcast works well, it helps you do more.
It helps you sell your tickets.
Sell tickets.
Yep.
We'll not actually touch my fuck it last shit. Maybe do that in the next
Make it a next episode, yeah.
So you do one wee thing, it kind of it builds up that vibration, and then it makes you kind of more positive. Go, shit, I done that thing. Now I can maybe do that, and now I can do that.
Aye.
You know, so because I find that when I'm out running, I eat healthier just naturally.
Aye. For me, it kind of comes in. For me, it's a bit of a struggle to try and get both of those things happening at once. Do you know what I mean? Like I can get myself going to the gym, regularly a number of times a week, but if I still eat shit, it doesn't really matter.
Aye. But sometimes
But
it kind of a
for me,
one boosts the other one.
I think the other way around. See if I get myself in a good routine of eating, it makes me feel. It inspires me to go to the gym and do that way around as well. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Like 2 more. One of them is just do more spontaneous fuckets.
Right. All right. Aye. Fucking hell. Aye.
I know that's quite a general one, but,
No,
we talked about spontaneous fuckets.
I love spontaneous fuckets, man. I love that.
See, just there's been a lot of stuff. Somebody's asked you on a sort of random weekday, fancy doing this, and you give it the what tomorrow.
Aye.
Don't want to do that if it sounds like it could be a laugh.
Aye.
Then fuck it. So,
No, it's true, man. It's just go like you just end up going somewhere and all right, fuck it, let's do it.
so that one I said last week, I said fuck it and ended up seeing Kevin Bridges.
Aye.
So,
Aye.
Um,
We could maybe do one today, just set fire to your neighbour's house or something like that.
why would we do that?
Why not? It's a last minute spontaneous fuck it.
I like him though.
Well, the other side, what about the other side?
I like that. There's one that would be quite funny, but no, let's leave that. Let's ask for the Patreon.
But no, just for a laugh. But then what'll happen is, Chris, like, we'll spontaneously set fire to a house. We'll get a couple of years in jail, but then we'll go viral, and then we'll come back. The podcast will be huge.
Well, we go in jail, then what we do is we come back out, we write a book, and then we go in James English.
How I turned my life around. All right, it was a daft idea. We decided to do a spontaneous fuck it. We set a house on fire. We done time. We found Jesus, and now we're on James English podcast, and we're sold out the Hydro.
And then he'll be sitting there smoking a big cigar, going, "Do you think yous are hard, Dad? I'm spoken to gangsters, man."
Aye. So how did it all start? Aye, that's what he does. Aye.
Well, Mike Rice cancelled his Fringe show, right?
I did, aye. And that is a butterfly effect, isn't it?
Aye, if he'd drank one less pint the night before that, we wouldn't be doing this right now.
Aye. And there's a butterfly effect that I just thought of there that sometimes happens because you decide you kind of a push yourself. Like there's an example of that. But like I think I created kids. Like I've not got any kids of my own, but
Created kids?
Aye, because like talking about boys' holidays, right?
Right.
So the first year it was different. There's always been different groups, a few kind of core guys and different guys that have turned into these. I've done maybe 5 or 6 boys' holidays. So Magaluf 93. I'm good to remember music from the 90s just before, like, if somebody says, Can you
remember what year Nirvana's In Utero album came out?
Okay, that was before that, wasn't
it? Well, he died in 94, didn't he?
Oh, was it? So maybe I don't know that. Right, you've made me look like a dick there, Chris. Right?
I think 93 was In Utero.
Aye. So there's some songs I go, that was like that. So it's just individual songs sometimes I go, that was 94.
What year did Smells Like Teen Spirit come out?
See, I don't know, man. I'd say about 94, 95. No, before that did.
91.
Right, see, that was before my boys' holidays, but.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Right, so what was I saying? So 94 we went to Corfu, 95 Gran Canaria, but then 96, right, there was some different guys coming.
Right.
So one of my pals, no, he was in Gran Canaria. No, he was the previous ones. So this year, I wanted to go back to Magaluf.
Right.
Right, I was determined because that was my favourite place. Because I should have been to Corfu, Gran Canaria, somewhere else. But this year, I wanted to go to Magaluf. It was like, as I said earlier, I decided I was going.
Aye, without any plan.
So but all my mates had their input. Right, so I basically were in the. There's a couple of us in the travel agents because that's where you done it back then. None of this internet.
I think I booked mine while I was sitting in the pan.
I know. So we're in the travel agents. So basically, there's 2 years there, kind of liaising with the mates back to their house or at work. We're like, right, so we've got this deal. I mean, that sounds alright, but I want to go here. So I want to go to Magaluf. I'm going to Magaluf. But we've got this. I've actually got a good deal for Magaluf. Right, but we've got this deal. We could book it now and get this brilliant price for Magaluf. And they gave in. They went, fuck it. All right, Obie, we're going to Magaluf. Right.
You got your way.
Got my way, right. So we went to Magaluf, and basically one of my mates met his wife there.
All right.
And now I've got 2 or 3 boys. I can't remember. I've not seen them for a while. But now he's got actual humans that developed out of me being stubborn enough to make his go to Magaluf. And he met his wife. And,
it's funny.
They're married for years.
Potentially thousands that you didn't even think about.
Aye.
People you've introduced to or whatever.
Aye. Sometimes you're walking down the street and you decide, fuck it, I'll go this way.
Then you bump into somebody and change the course of history forever.
Aye. And there's wee things like a few years ago I decided fuck it. Like, I remember I wanted to do the Lanzarote John O'Groats thing,
Yep.
which I didn't do. That's still on my list, by the way. But I went down to do some gigs. I had to do a gig in St Just.
Right.
Like, this is before I started the walk, and it's miles away. It's like the furthest away you can go in Britain. But I decided, fuck it. Like, people go, why are you going there? It's going to cost you a fortune on petrol. I don't care. I want to go. But because I went there, I've now got friends. Just because I went there, I've now got friends. One of them come up and like met me in Glasgow.
Right.
Just because I decided to, as a last minute, fuck it.
Aye.
You know, so random things like that happen, and that there was no logical reason why I should have went there to do a gig, because I got I mean basically the people, the tickets I sold paid for me going there.
Aye.
And a few pints. I didn't make much, but the fact that I've got friends that live like lifelong friends because of that one trip.
Yeah.
So
Aye, if you didn't,
if I didn't
you
do
didn't
it,
have them.
aye.
I've got one last on my list.
Oh, I get the last one.
I said it earlier, and you made fun of me.
No, I didn't.
I want to read more books.
No. See, I would never make fun of that. Right, I did make a fun for a laugh, but that I would never take a piss out of that. I wouldn't. Aye, look good on you, because you don't read enough.
I don't. I've got that. You get the Audible thing where you get like one free book a month.
Aye, I do that as well.
I've got loads. I download one every month and never put it on.
Aye,
because I just listen to nonsense podcasts like this instead.
Aye.
But no, I want just a bit more. I don't even know what kind of books. Some of it's like self-helpy.
Aye. So what ones have you got then?
It's on my.
I bet you've got similar ones to me, right? You can show me after.
I'll show you after, but a lot of it's kind of. Mind we were talking about. I've got like Wim Hof type stuff.
Oh,
I've got his one. We talked about it a few episodes ago. The oxygen advantage stuff about kind of training yourself to breathe differently and breathe better.
Aye.
It's annoying. I want to check my phone, but it's filming you.
Oh, I saw it is. I was going to check it. Aye.
Can you go on Audible one? Let's see. I'm going here.
Aye. You could probably go on it. Yeah.
Aye,
because I love Audible. I'd rather, when I'm out doing my Just Eat job, obviously I know that now because I'm looking at a car, I listen to Audible and podcasts.
Aye.
You know, sometimes I just stick the radio on, but I like listening to things, so I'm actually learning when I'm out there. So I like listening to stuff like autobiographies.
Aye.
Like comedians, a lot of comedians. I've listened to like Kevin Bridges' book, Johnny Vegas is just good. Steve Martin.
I've got a couple of comedians ones. I can't remember who. I know there's obviously quite a lot of the Billy Connolly ones.
So the Billy Connolly one was good. That's on Audible as well. That's brilliant. And he's got a new one out as well, I think.
Oh, has he?
Aye.
That'll be my dad's Christmas, sorry.
Aye. And then there's Frank Skinner. I don't know if he's got an Audible. I read his book years ago. He might. I don't know if it'll be on Audible.
I keep telling my dad to do an audiobook version of his book.
Aye.
Just get him in here to record it on this.
Aye. Charge him.
Oh, here I've got 2 credits to use on Audible. What should I get? Right, here's my library of things that I've not read. Oh, I did. Right, this is a sad story. It took, Matthew Perry died a few weeks ago. Aye. That's what it took for me to get his book. So,
was it? Aye, shit, man, aye.
So I could have started that the other day. My problem is I quite often put them on, like, sometimes wear headphones, like we earpod and that when I'm in bed.
Aye.
And I listen to a podcast or that, but then you fall asleep and then you don't know where you
you wake up and you go, you're like on this chapter 7 with them all. Oh, fuck, you've read the book. Aye, I know what you mean.
So, right, next I've got Manifest, 7 Steps to Living Your Best Life.
Right.
You read that?
I've not read that one, no.
Near of untouched.
Aye.
Darren Brown's Boot Camp for Emotion. That's a podcast on Audible.
I think I've got that. I've no.
He's got a few of these boot camp things.
Aye. I like Darren Brown, aye.
Right, next we've got Encounter in Rendlesham Forest, the inside story of the world's best documented UFO incident.
Ooh, where was that? In Cumbernauld?
Probably Bonnybridge.
Aye.
That's where they usually are, isn't
it?
Aye. Secret Machines, Man, Gods, Man and War, Book 2.
Fucking hell, is that? What's that about?
That's, do you know Tom DeLonge from Blink 182?
That.
So he's a guitarist in a punk band who left Blink 182 to go and hunt for aliens for a while, but now he's back.
All right. Aye.
Talks about it. It was on Joe Rogan. It's a good time.
Right.
He's I'll let you look into it. Right. This is a good one. Again, I've listened to like 1% of it apparently. It's called You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life.
Aye, see, I love books like that, man. I love that. Right, you're a badass when you read that.
Couple of stand-up specials on Audible.
All right.
So I've got Sean Locke.
Oh, Sean Locke's
God rest his soul. I love him.
Sean Locke was brilliant, man.
Kevin Bridges.
Aye.
Another Sean Locke.
Aye.
Meditations, the Audible Sleep Collection. Not really into them.
Aye, that's good for sleeping, isn't it? That wee bit of meditation.
I prefer listening to just podcasts or books for people talking to go to sleep rather than
Aye.
meditatey stuff. Alan Davies, As Yet Untitled extended podcast. You ever listen to that?
Nah.
That's like a, you know Alan Davies?
Aye, the comedian.
Aye.
I do think they're who he is.
So he's
kind of frizzy hair, like kind of mad hair.
yeah. That's like, he gets just like 3 comedians around a table like this, and the whole idea is they just have a conversation to decide what the episode is going to be called.
That's kind of a weird doing it. We're working at.
Aye.
We've had a wee bit more structure the last couple of days, right enough, haven't we?
Aye, we're getting closer to having something a bit more.
Aye, but it doesn't need to be like.
No, I mean, like when we have a guest on, it might be a bit more free flowing and whatever. But I like that we're working on the list stuff at the moment. We're an hour and a half in. You're getting your money's worth.
Aye. Okay, this is the longest one yet, isn't
it? Right, next we have the oxygen advantage. We talked about that.
Aye.
The simple, scientifically proven breathing technique that will revolutionise your health and fitness. Next we have Dara O'Brien, Time Wasters.
All right.
That's a podcast. I've clearly never looked at it.
Right.
Breath by James Nestor.
Oh, that's good. I'm sure I've got
the
that
one. I think that's the one about breathing through your nose
Aye.
rather than through your mouth, and how there's a big advantage to.
There's a book out there about breathing through your ears, which is quite good.
The Alchemist.
I've read that. That's good. I've got that. Aye.
That's one that I keep going back to, because again, I listen to these in bed and I fall asleep and I go back to it. But I've heard a lot of people talk about about it's called, the sort of subtitle here is A Fable About Following Your Dream.
Aye, that's a good bit. All right, I've not done Audible. I've got Kindle.
Oh, right. I've got a Kindle as well. Took it on holiday, never touched it once.
Aye. So I've not got the Kindle. I've got the app, so I just use it on my phone.
Oh yeah.
Aye.
Yeah, I really want to get into that. I've heard a lot of good things about it.
Aye.
Because that's like a translated thing from like a Portuguese author.
Aye. It's good.
What have we got? Cocaine and Rhinestones: The History of Country Music.
Fucking hell, like that. Aye.
And we have the Big Door Prize. I got that because it's.
So you can start listening to these with your drive because you do a lot of miles.
I do. Sometimes I do, but then I always end up going back to daft podcasts.
Nothing like I think podcasts you learn a lot from podcasts as well. Anyway, so aye.
A few more here, but silly things.
Aye.
The Life and Times of Hank Williams.
Aye.
The Outlaw Country podcast.
So get yourself through them then.
Aye. Oh, Tom Segura's book was good. I'd like to play alone, please. That was good.
Aye.
So that's my list.
So that's
at
your
the
list.
moment.
And I think the next one we'll do my list. I'll need to write more because I've got kind of in my head what I want. I'll write a list and we'll go through them. That's good because I think, do you find when you start talking about them, it inspires you a wee bit. You can
or even just writing it on my own. Like as I say, we're recording this the day after. Like I said, I would do it, and I was out last night and I edited yesterday's episode, so I've only had this was like a wee 10 minutes I took. In fact, edited at 3:33 this morning. That's when I wrote it. But as well as talking about it, as I said, even like you write one thing and it inspires
because it gets you thinking,
thing.
and that's because when you start thinking about things that are more positive, you feel better as well. Because if you're thinking about your problems, fuck, I've got this bill to pay, I've got that to pay, or you can maybe get shit at work. You're not. And sometimes that's why you're not doing the stuff you want to do because you're not thinking about it. So because you're now doing this podcast, you're kind of more focused on the stuff you want to do because you're actually trying to get out to other people to do it. And in return, you end up doing it yourself.
Aye, no, it's good. It's kind of,
and this is a fuck it now that we're actually doing the podcast.
Yeah. No, it's given me a good wee bit of drive to actually try and do some of them. As I said, I'm in a wee sort of inspired mood this last wee week. I've been away from work anyway. It's like that on top of doing this. It's all kind of, I feel like it's building to something, you know.
It does. The wee small things kind of build. And you can actually take an action because you kind of get stuck in a wee rut, surrounded with the wrong people. It's like we're in the warehouse, everybody's in the kind of same mindset a wee bit.
God, are we going to end the episode on
right, we won't, you know what I mean? So rather than so that's just good to listen to podcasts because you listen to people that are trying to do good things with their life. So
and it inspires you to do the same.
Inspires you. It's like being surrounded by more people that are actually doing stuff.
Aye, because I don't think you don't get many podcasts of like abuse, do you? I'm sure there are.
Nah, probably is. So imagine you got a podcast.
Oh, actually, dead men talking. That's.
Aye. So imagine you got a podcast just in the staff canteen and just us talking. I can't believe he get the good palate again. Like he get the good palate and like there was crisps there.
Did we have the rule? Do you know what? We are ending the podcast on a just chat, right? Because did we have the rule in just that you had to work your way through the order of just how the palettes were sitting?
Aye. But some sneaky bastards are going to get the good ones in the back. And
so like,
it's always the same cunts.
Oh, I know his name. But it was worse in Asda. When I was in the Asda warehouse, there was one guy that was really bad for it.
Aye.
And then at the end of the shift, he would always be like, "I'll just grab a wee lift home with you, eh?" And I'd be like, "No, the night, bro."
Aye, I know, yeah. Because he take and because his on the computer it looks as if he's working harder than everybody else, but he's just
Just because, and you'd have days where you'd have a really unlucky pick. Like you'd get a pallet with like 4 things on it, and it takes you ages, and you need to get a fresh cage out. Every
oh no,
time.
I'm
not doing it again.
I can feel my energy draining again just talking about this. Anyway, back to happy stuff.
I was all inspired and it was away.
I know. But be inspired, do the fuck it. Write yourself a fuck it list and start doing it.
Yes, and then write it into us as well at obiepodcast@gmail.com, please.
I write it in, or add it, tell us about it in social media under this. If it's on this, is on Facebook or Spotify, TikTok, or whatever. Right on that.
Yep. So that was my fuck it list. Next week we'll have yours.
Aye, we'll do mine next. Aye. I thought we'd had time to do mine, but yours look like for 8.
It's taking an hour and a half.
Aye, well, that's good. Aye, so
we spent 40 minutes talking about nonsense before that.
Aye.
No, I'm looking forward to yours, and then I'm looking forward to like getting stuck into it and actually doing it.
Right, anyway, so that was episode 4 done.
Here we go. A quadrilogy now. Is that
quadrilogy? Aye, that's the word.
Right.
Right, thanks for listening. Is that us?
Said it. He said it.
See ya.
See you later. Cheers.